goods me's, I'm going to be showing you how I styled my deku wig from straight fresh out of the bag to how it looked in the beginning of the video. This is the Super Maru from Coscraft in colour dark green. I usually get all my wigs from Coscraft because, as you can see, they're really good quality. So when you first get a wig and try it on, it might feel too big, and you can tighten this at the back with these little elastic bands by sliding them just into place in the little loops at the back. It's much easier for me to style my wig once it is on a wig head, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Good quality wigs like wigs from Coscraft tend to have little tabs that rest on your temples, so I'm just making sure that those are even and then pinning in place at the sides where those tabs are and directly on top so the wig does not budge while I'm styling it. The things I'm going to use to style today are some very sharp scissors, a basic comb, a hairdryer, I'm sure you all know what a hairdryer looks like by now, and some hair straighteners. A good thing about Coscraft wigs is they are heat resistant, but you will need one with a temperature gauge just so that you can control how much heat comes out of it so you don't melt it as it is still synthetic. A cosplayer's best friend, got to be glued hairspray, and just in case you need it, a clip, but I ended up not using it. Starting on top at the side of my wig, I'm going to be brushing strands up like so, and then I'm going to be cutting them to take off a lot of that length. Lifting it up and cutting in a certain way will help prevent you from getting those straight lines. As you can see, I'm moving the scissors as I cut so that it's not a harsh snip. I don't know how to describe it. It's harsh snip. That's what I'm going with. And then I'm just working my way around the wig, taking off all that length and making sure to not touch the bangs and leave some at the front and sides to frame my face. Making sure that I take the pins out, I'm going to try on this wig and see what I can do about the bangs, because I've got no idea at this point. Now's a good time to remind you guys that learning to do wigs is one of the best things you can do for a cosplay because it can really drastically improve any look. I'm just making sure those tabs are lined up with my temples and that the hairline is about where a hairline should be before we get cutting. I've never looked better. With the wig on my head, I'm now trimming the bangs to the rough length that I want, and remember you can always take off, you can't put it back on, so it's always best to leave it long and take away a bit at a time. Right now I'm just working out the parts that I want to frame my face and trimming them to do so by starting at the top and working my way down for a nice feathery effect. Here I'm just going to show you what my cutting technique is like while snipping. I will also bring it down like so. You can also use a razor for this and just drag it down. I think that's the method to describe. I don't know what this is. Don't at me. It works, okay? Time to brush off all that hair and pick it up off the floor, you nasty. Back on the trusty wig head, I am just thinning out the bangs a little bit and then I'm going to start curling. When using heat on a wig for the first time, always check a strand at the back first and make sure it doesn't melt and adjust the temperature accordingly. As you can see, some of the curls are a bit too long for my liking, so I will go back in with the scissors and trim those up as I go as well. If you're going to use hairspray on a wig, then little spritz from a distance work best, and then you dry that hairspray that you've just put on with the blow dryer, and that'll help keep everything in place. As you can see, some parts of the wig are quite long for the curls and I don't want those, so I will just keep going back in with the scissors. It's just kind of trial and error and seeing what you like, what looks best, which way you want the curls to sit, and yeah, have fun with it, I guess. It's a really fun wig to do. Hello, my voice just cracked then. As I said, literally just a matter of going in with the scissors, snipperoonie in those, and just curling all the way around until you've got something you're happy with. And then I'm going to give it a big spritz of hairspray and blow dry it, just to kind of really lock those curls in there. It's bang time, and not the fun kind. This is the kind that drives me crazy. Again, not the fun kind of crazy. When you're first getting used to wig styling, I would probably wear the wig to trim the bangs because you cannot put more back on. Trust me, I have had some short bangs in my time. If you want a tight curl, then heat it up as you would another strand. Make sure you catch it, be careful, it will be hot. Spray it with a bit of hairspray and then blow dry it, and it should stay in place. You can also use a safety pin, bobby pin rather, and just pin it in place until it's cooled down as well. For the parts that are framing the face, I'm going to curl them inwards. As you do this, you will probably need to trim them again, see how they sit, but I did this again properly once it was on my head. This was more just so I had an idea of what was bangs and what was the framey face parts. final spritz of hairspray and blow dry before we try it on for a final time. Now everything looks great apart from the bangs. I do not like those at all, so that's what I'm going to focus on now, is fixing up these, the front and most important part, since that's what everyone's going to be looking at. The same kind of cutting techniques as before, just cutting away some of that bulk and then picking which bits I want to curl and add to the curly broccoli mass on my head. As I feel if you have a lot of straight in the bangs, it doesn't look as natural and doesn't blend in as well. If you see my lips smacking, it's because I'm singing along to the music I was listening to while filming this. Don't judge me. You do it too, you know it. Oh, my voice. And with a few final snips, we are done. And I really love how this turned out. It turned out so much better than my first deku wig. I'm so happy and so proud. Hopefully this helped. Leave a like and a comment and tag me if you do a deku wig with this tutorial. I'd love to see it. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.